is a holiday film unlike any that's out there. What was your initial reaction when you read the script for Christmas with the Campbells?
I was thrilled. I was like, they asked me to be a part of the movie and then sent me the script. And I was tickled. I giggled my way through it and got on a plane and we started filming.
You've done it all throughout your career. What was it about playing Becky that attracted you to this project?
It was fun. I loved Becky. I loved that she was not afraid to go after what she wanted. I respected the fact that she was an entrepreneur and, a strong woman. And, obviously she, is sexually advanced and not afraid to someone asked me today, they're like, do you bake as good as Becky? I was like, I bake, but I don't know all of the stimulating flavors that Becky plays around with. So I loved it. I thought she was such a fun character, and just it's always fun to be able to play someone that's outside of yourself, but also in a way that makes you blush.
Definitely. You've played so many strong female characters throughout your career. Who were the women in your life that shaped the artist and storyteller that you are today?
Oh, that's such a good question. I mean, I think it definitely starts with my mom. She was a force and just so special and creative and intuitive. And she just had this she was so multifaceted and interesting. Um, I think I learned so much and still do from Reba McEntire
Mm,
for her just unbelievable professionalism. I mean, her talent it stands alone and speaks for itself, but also just willingness to try. I mean, I watched Reba, who is this country music superstar that I idolized and worshiped and sang every song to growing up, but then coming off such a huge successful run on Broadway with Annie Get Your Gun, and obviously having been in movies before, but then stepping into a sitcom, a
yeah.
traditional multi-camera sitcom, and just no ego, looking for all of the just was willing to learn and experience it. And I was super humbled by that because I was, obviously very young when I started the show, but also I'd never done comedy like that. And there is an art to it and a rhythm to it, especially in a multi-camera show. And I was just learning as I went along as well. So it was just, she really humbles me. But I've had the ability I've worked with so many incredible women, still
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by really strong women that amaze me in a million different ways. And every part of my life, as I've gone from, young teenage actor to 20 something actress to new mom,
Yeah.
wife, now cultivating different facets of my career and exploring different things. Just all of the women in my life I draw from so much and really feel lucky to be surrounded by them.
Great answer. And you've worked with Claire and Vince in the past.
Yeah.
How did that trust and comfortability allow you to take agency over your character and give you the freedom to kind of improvise and go off script?
I mean, it's really their trust in me. And like Vince is a force. Claire is she's so clear about what she wants and clear about her vision and just relentless. I mean, she doesn't sit down. And then you have someone like Vince who it's like almost like a comedy computer in his brain, and you see it like computing beats and just knowing what works. And I think, and then leaning into that. And
Mm,
so that really, for me, I mean, the first time I worked with Vince, I was so terrified walking onto set because I was such a huge fan of him. And he's also a really big guy. And I was playing his girlfriend, and we were having this like gnarly breakup scene where we were just like, I was like, I've had it, I've done it. I'm literally for the first 30 minutes, I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, telling Vince Vaughn to F off. And then slowly, as he gets a little tickled by something that you say or kind of really leans in, and then you start to feel like you're in this like incredible partnership. It's really, I think the magic of comedy. It's why good comedy, when it just works, it works, but also why it feels so good when it works when you're in it. And he just gets that. And so, you know, I think it's their trust. I mean, there's so many times where he can see I'm so in my head and he's like, he's like, Jojo, stop thinking about it. And I'm like, oh, okay. You're right. Like, I don't have to mash it up in my head so much, you know, just like have a little fun with it. Inevitably, when I do, it works.
Yeah, you're absolutely hysterical in this film. And you know, throughout your career, you've had such a nice balance between drama and comedy. For you as an actress, is one more challenging than the other?
Um, you know, I think that comedy feels they're both so different. But I like the puzzle of comedy
Mhm.
so much. And it was really fun to just do it again. My husband was saying to me, he was like, why don't you do this more? And I was like, well, I've just kind of been in Serenity for the past few years and really in this sort of romantic space of, you know, life and drawn to that kind of storytelling. But then I realized, I realized more importantly, what I love to do is, you know, be a part of things that people enjoy and are enjoyable for people. You know, they don't have to, it's not so heart-wrenching to watch it. It's more just like, you know, sit down,
Definitely.
kick your feet up. You can relate to this. And even though it might be, Becky might not be super relatable to every woman out there, I relate to Becky on some level. I actually admire her a lot in some ways.
Perfect. I go to this next question, but it's been a little while since you've done a full-on comedy. And again, you're a scene stealer in this. When it drops tomorrow, is there a particular scene that you're really excited for your fans to see?
Oh, that's such a nice question to ask when I'm like so brutal with myself. I'm like, oh God, I would tell you like 16 scenes that everybody else did. I'm like, with my stuff. I I mean, I don't know. I think I enjoyed the Monopoly. I thought that was really fun, but I
Yeah.
really enjoyed watching it. I mean, filming it is more than anything. But we had a lot of fun. I mean, all of the different Becky just sort of pops in with these like this like crazy, you know, stuff. That the ones there was a scene that we shot in actually in Georgia later on after we finished filming. That's between Alex Moffat and my character. And it's it really goes there. And I think I like that one the most.
Yeah. There's also a really great scene where your character is not acknowledging Brittany Snow's
Oh yeah.
character, which is also hysterical.
I know it's so terrible. And I love Brittany so much.
You know, food is such a big part in so many different families' traditions, as well as the characters in this film. And you recently shared on The Happy Place, a recipe that you've passed down, that's been passed down to you. What are some of the
Yeah.
ways in which you and your family celebrate during this time of year? And what do you hope to pass down to your girls?
Well, you know, a lot. So my mom and dad passed away very recently in the last few years, and my grandmother. So we've experienced a lot of loss. So if that the holidays definitely have felt different for me navigating that. And my whole hope, because I have young children, is that they know my parents still. So we have a Poppy and Gigi gift. They were Poppy and Gigi. And so Poppy and Gigi give them a present every year. And it's usually the best one because I'm like, they've got to be legends. Like they've got to, if they don't get to grow up with their grandma and grandpa, my parents next to them, they have grandparents. My in-laws are wonderful, but they're gonna know them for the great presents that they got during Christmas from them and
Mm,
keeping their memory alive. And that's why traditions are so important, I
yeah.
think, just in general, but also really important, especially navigating, you know, life without the people that you love.
It's a beautiful sentiment and so sorry for your loss. Thank
Thank you.
you so much for taking time out of your day to chat with us. Congratulations on this film.
Thank
It's
you.
absolutely one of my favorite holiday films
Yay.
ever.
Oh, I
And
love it. Thank you. Well, it was so nice chatting with you too.